Welcome to Ascend and Awaken, a life of balance. Good Will Hunting is often described as a movie about intelligence, raw talent, and unrealized potential. But that description barely touches the heart of the story. This film isn't really about genius, it's about wounds. It's about how deeply we protect ourselves when life has taught us that closeness is dangerous, and how healing only begins when we finally stop running. Today, we'll explore the deeper emotional and spiritual message beneath Good Will Hunting, and why this story resonates so powerfully with anyone who has ever pushed people away, sabotaged opportunity, or believed they had to face life alone. Will Hunting's intelligence is extraordinary, but it is not his liberation. It's his armor. Will uses his mind to stay in control, to stay ahead, to stay unreachable. Every insult, every intellectual takedown, and every sarcastic remark creates distance. Distance keeps him safe. This is one of the film's most honest truths. Our greatest strengths often become our most sophisticated defenses. We don't always run from pain with fear. Occasionally we run with competence, with humor, with confidence, with brilliance. And from the outside, it can look like strength, while on the inside, it's survival. Will does not fear failing. He fears being known. He fears intimacy because intimacy threatens the belief system trauma built inside him. If you really know me, you'll leave. If I let myself care, I'll get hurt. If I succeed, I'll be exposed. So he runs. Not because he lacks courage, but because he lacks safety. This is why trauma so often creates paradoxical behavior. Pushing away love while craving it. Sabotaging opportunity while longing for meaning. Rejecting help while needing connection. Will's resistance is not arrogance, it's protection. One of the film's most decisive moments is simple. It's quiet. The repeated phrase, "It's not your fault." Will understands this intellectually, but trauma doesn't respond to logic. Trauma lives in the nervous system, the body. Reflexive beliefs formed long before words. Will's past taught him that vulnerability equals danger, that closeness equals pain, that attachment leads to loss. So his system learned to stay guarded long after the threat was gone. Healing doesn't happen when we understand this. It happens when we feel safe enough to stay. Will doesn't lack insight. He lacks stillness. Healing begins only when the running stops, when the jokes fall quiet, when the defenses loosen, when the body finally exhales. Sean doesn't chase Will. He doesn't out-argue him. He doesn't compete. He stays present. And this is crucial. Healing doesn't begin when we repair ourselves. It begins when we allow ourselves to be with what hurts. Stillness can feel unbearable when pain has been buried for years. But it's also where the body learns that the present is safer than the past. Will is surrounded by people who admire his intelligence. Almost no one sees his pain. Sean sees the child beneath the brilliance. Sean recognizes the fear that lies beneath the sarcasm. The longing lies beneath the rage, and he stays. This is one of the film's deepest spiritual teachings. Healing happens in safe relationships, not in isolation, not through achievement. It's not about demonstrating our value. It is through our presence that we can make a difference. It's about being seen, not about being judged, held without being controlled, accepted without being fixed. This kind of presence rewrites the nervous system. It teaches the body what the mind already knows. I am not broken. I am not alone. I am allowed to stay. Will doesn't sabotage because he's lazy or afraid of success. He sabotages because achieving success would require him to make a terrifying commitment to his life. To succeed would mean risking failure at something that matters, risking loss, risking attachment, risking hope. Self-sabotage is often misunderstood as weakness, but it's actually misdirected protection. It's the nervous system saying, "This doesn't feel safe yet." Healing asks us not to shame this response, but to meet it with compassion. The most important decision Will makes isn't intellectual or professional, it's emotional. He chooses to risk love. He is willing to take the risk of not knowing how things will unfold. Stopping running doesn't mean fear disappears. It means fear no longer drives. Healing isn't about certainty. It's about courage. The courage to stay, the courage to feel, the courage to let yourself be known. At its core, Good Will Hunting offers this truth. You are not your trauma. You are not your defenses. You are not the story pain taught you to believe. But healing requires us to stop outrunning ourselves, to pause, to stay, to soften. When we stop running, we don't collapse. We begin to come home. Healing doesn't begin when everything is figured out. It begins when we stop running. From ourselves, from love, from life. Good Will Hunting reminds us that the greatest risk is not failure. It's staying closed. Thank you for spending this time with me and for being part of this conversation. If this reflection resonated, I invite you to subscribe to Ascend and Awaken for more heart-centered reflections on life, healing, and spiritual growth. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Where in your life might healing begin if you stopped running? Peace, love, and light to you on your continual spiritual journey.